A lot of excitement around the ground, as you can imagine. There's no questioning the importance of today's game for Bristol against West Ham, as it should have a major bearing on whether the Robins can play top flight football next season. Is this the biggest game in Bristol City women's footballing history? It does feel like that today, with both teams on 5 points at the bottom of the table. Let's go. But I have mentioned the bottom two clubs in the WSL meet here at Ashton Gate this afternoon. Level on points, they're both on 5, with City at the foot of the table on goal difference. And City have certainly been given a boost in the build-up to this afternoon's match. They have added those 2 international players to their squad, with Scottish international Lisa Evans and Canadian midfielder Sarah Strategatis, both arriving in time to be involved today. They are both on the bench. Head coach Lauren Smith is delighted to have some quality and experience to her squad.
Yeah, really pleased to be able to add both of those at this point.
They will pull off a scalp, I'm sure, in this league.
Absolutely, and you've been confident of that throughout, and we have witnessed that improvement every single time. It's just how quickly that improvement continues to kind of exponentially grow, shall we say. We've mentioned both sides locked on 5 points at the foot of the table, but one little thing that caught my eye this week is the fact that City are ranked 4th among the 12 clubs that make up the women's top flight for average home attendance, with 8,825. They've had a 900% increase in season ticket sales. They've recorded record attendances of over 12,000 and then over 14,000 for those matches against Arsenal and Manchester United. I mean, what it's doing for women's football, especially here in the Southwest, is something quite unbelievable.
It is incredible. I saw those stats at Christmas time as well, and I think there was even one that brought some of the European teams into it, and I think
The Script and Superheroes playing here on BBC Radio Wales. So January is over and we welcome February, and we welcome what we've all been waiting for, the Six Nations. Let's start with the under-20s. 2 late tries saw Wales settle a thrilling opening game in the under-20 Six Nations against Scotland yesterday. They outscored their visitors 6 tries to 5 in Colwyn Bay. Final score, Wales 37, Scotland 29. Scotland have actually made a U-turn, with the Principality Stadium roof now closed today for the Six Nations opening game. Gregor Townsend's side had initially asked for the roof to be left open, a decision which Wales coach Warren Gatland called disappointing. Scotland have now asked for the roof to be closed, with rain forecast throughout today. Six Nations regulations say both sides have to agree to have the roof closed. Of course, Wales snap their hands off. Yes, absolutely. It's about the noise, it's about the atmosphere. Wales very happy about the U-turn, with Scotland having not won in Cardiff for 22 years and 11 attempts. Cardiff fullback Cameron Winnett will make his Wales debut in the Six Nations opener today, but centre George North misses out through injury. North is replaced by Owen Watkin, while there are also recalls for flanker James Botham and prop Leon Brown. At 21 years and 60 days, David Jenkins becomes Wales' second youngest captain. All the build-up from 2 here on BBC Radio Wales. Remember, kick-off at 4:45. We're going to be live with the supporters in the fan zone to sample the atmosphere in Cardiff as Wales aim for a 10th successive win over the Scots in the capital. Commentary from Gareth Rhys-Owen and former Wales internationals James Hook and Ian Goff. We've also got 4 football commentaries for you today. In the Championship, Wales captain Aaron Ramsey set to make his return for Cardiff at Watford, while Swansea aim to end a 3-match losing streak as they take on Plymouth. Wrexham's League 2 promotion push takes them to Salford, while Newport face Swindon in a lunchtime kickoff at Rodney Parade. We've got you covered right here on BBC Radio Wales and BBC Sounds. Let's start with Wrexham. Let's start with some positivity. Carl saying, ground that win out today with Wrexham down to 10 men. The sort of wins that can be crucial when aiming for promotion. Tim saying good win today, and George Evans gets to spend the holidays with his family. There we are, looking on the bright side. Swansea reaction, Harrison saying Chris Davis looks almost certain to be the next Swansea City manager. It's a good job too, we need him badly right now. Lee Williams saying Matt Grimes, honestly, a very overrated player, probably the most overrated player that Swansea City have ever had. Thoughts on that tonight? Tony's a Cardiff fan. He says need to return to the very basics of the game as soon as possible. Wouldn't sign Kiefer Moore. Cardiff City is not the solution. And let me give you some Newport reaction as well. James saying very flat performance as per usual in the league. Next week is going to be bad if we play like that again.
From the way that the team are lining up this afternoon, we can see Amelie Threstrup, is kind of out front on her own. As the formation looks, it's 5-4-1, but we know realistically that's quite movable and quite dynamic. But is she going to be able to get the service she needs? Because it's all very well spotting those defensive weak areas, but she needs the ball, and that is something we've seen her struggle with, just getting that service throughout the season so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a tricky one today because they will want to stretch West Ham.
Well, it's an exciting afternoon, regardless. Many have been billing it one of the biggest games this season for Bristol City in the WSL. They host West Ham. They are currently both on 5 points at the bottom of the table. Bristol City at the foot of the table with goal difference. We're trying not to put pressure on the girls, but the atmosphere today, people just want the game to get started. You can almost see it. They're waiting with bated breath. The mascots are currently on the pitch. We're waiting for the teams to come out. They're in the tunnel. Bristol City, I can see on the cameras right now, looking pretty composed actually, quite focused, not really talking to each other, not really getting too distracted by West Ham lining up next to them. This is definitely going to be an intense afternoon. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that Bristol are going to come out all guns blazing and will be pushing to really capitalise on any West Ham weakness. Your commentary team this afternoon here on BBC Radio Bristol, BBC Sounds and Freeview 719 is ex-Scottish international and City player Frankie Brown and Pete Simpson.
Claire Kavanagh at breakfast.